Hello everyone, welcome to Microsoft Dynamics Tips and Tricks by me, Amber Bell, from Training Dynamo LLC. Today we're going to be talking about ways that you can navigate a little bit easier in the program. I'm going to go ahead and open up GP, and inside of GP I'm going to open up a window. I'm going to go the long way. So what I'm going to do is look under Transactions, and I'll pick Sales, and I'll go down to Cash Receipts. Now you notice I had to remember where that was. I had to navigate one click at a time. But if that's a window that I use a lot on a day-to-day basis, what I can do is just very easily click File, Add to Shortcuts. I'm going to close that, and you'll see that now on my navigation pane I have a nice shortcut. And that's just a one click to open that window. But let's say that that's a window I use all the time and I'm not always on the home page. I could be over in Sales and I'm not being able to find it. I could look for it here, but I can also use a keyboard shortcut to open the window. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I go back to Home and I'm going to right click right on the Cash Receipts entry shortcut I just created, and I'm going to go down to Shortcut Properties. And now in this window you'll see that I have the option to assign a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to explain in a second why we don't see the F1 key, but we're going to go ahead and pick F2. And when I pick F2, I like putting it in the name. That is not required. It would work just the same if you had no description in there with the name. But I like that because now I can click OK, and I'm going to see that in a list. So on my navigation pane here, I'll start to see the ones that I've assigned to keyboard shortcuts. If I go into that window, I can again do the long way, 1, 2, 3 clicks. I can click it with just one click, or I can use the function key on my keyboard and just click that one time. And what's nice about that is I don't need to see it. I could be over in Financial, I could be in Purchasing, I could be in Inventory, and I can hit that button. Now that will work with any type of shortcut that you can add to that shortcut navigation pane, and we can talk about that in other tips if you guys are interested. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain real quick why we can't use the F1 key. So I'm going to hit my F2 key, and I'm going to be in this window. Now if you've never used the F1 key, it's going to be one of your favorite tips that I'll show you. If we hit the F1 key, it actually opens up help about whatever window you're in. So this is going to go over Cash Receipts Overview, and it tells you what things will happen. And it even gives you a step-by-step directions on how to enter a cash receipt. So what I'll sometimes do is I'll copy this, put it into Word, and edit things that I don't need, add shortcuts and screenshots so that it's a really nice document. I'm going to go ahead and close that window, and I could again use that window very easily. You can add all of the function keys except F1, and if you run out of function keys, we're going to go down to Shortcut Properties, and I'll keep scrolling, and you'll see that I have Shift F1 through F12, Shift A all the way through Z, Control Alt A through Z. If you have that many shortcuts, you have too many shortcuts in my opinion, but it might be that your old accounting system or your old system used one of these types of shortcuts to do a process that you're used to using. So it's a great way to make someone feel comfortable if they're used to a system that used more keyboard shortcuts than GP does out of the box. I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of here, and I'll show you guys a couple things. On my website I actually have the tip and trick for that, so we're going to go ahead and go to that. And I added a shortcut right here on the presentation, so you could go to bit.ly, so bit.ly/GP function keys, and that'll go right to the step-by-step directions. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And if it pops up like this, this is just saying it's opening up my document. And go ahead and say yes or click OK. And now you're going to see assigning shortcut function keys to shortcuts. And this works for all versions, even old versions of GP. You could be in GP anything back to version 7. If you're on that old of a version, let me know right away because we want to get somebody to help you. But you can see we have shortcuts. We can also create macros and add those to shortcuts, but what we want to do is just go ahead and go to shortcut properties and then add that. If you're interested in other tips and tricks, be sure to visit my website, which is www.trainingdynamo.com. You can also email at info@trainingdynamo.com if you have any questions or comments about this or other tips and tricks on my website or in general. Thank you so much and have a great day.